Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. In this one here, there is quite a bit of stuff to talk about, but I really do want to focus on something that Angela Kang actually said about part 2 of season 11, and that is that there is going to be a new group that surprises our characters. And I find it interesting because, first of all, thank you, Xmas Girl, for sending this to me on Twitter, but I totally missed this actually. Like, I totally missed that Angela Kang said this because all I was focused on when The Walking Dead ended last Sunday was that, or not last Sunday, but the Sunday before that, all I was focused on was what Gimple was saying. And basically, Angela Kang and Gimple, I think, are kind of saying the same thing here. I just don't think Angela Kang knew that Gimple said that. And also, I think when Gimple said that, it definitely spoiled a lot more than he intended to. So I think that's why Chris Hardwick was really surprised. It was like, whoa, I never expected to get that from you. And Gimple kind of regretted saying it. And so anyways, we're going to get into Angela Kang's comments here because it really does make part 2 so much more exciting. But yeah, before we go any further, definitely make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get more Walking Dead content like this. If you haven't followed the Discord yet, I really recommend doing it. It's a ton of fun. Honestly, I have such a fun time on Discord communicating with everybody. We have over 700 members now, so it'd be really cool to get over 800. And I believe today in Idle Theater they were actually watching Halloween Kills. I totally forgot that was, I think they did anyways. I totally forgot that was today. I'm pretty sure it was today, maybe it was tomorrow. Anyways, I hope to see you guys there on Discord. The link is in the description. It's Appetite for the Dead. And also my Twitch username is the same. So anyways, let's get into Angela Kang's comments here. So we'll obviously I'll read the quote and then we'll start to talk about it. This is what she had to say here. I think it's fair to say there's an epic start with really big, cool things going on, but also a lot of emotional stuff. So 11B is going to have a pretty different vibe from 11A, which is not unusual for us in a season. We tend to kind of switch up some variables in every block. We'll start to open up our world a little bit more and meet some more people and see what's going on for everybody. And there's going to be a really fun thriller vibe to the B block that we've been enjoying writing. I don't want to spoil it because it would definitely be spoilery, but there will be another group that surprises our people, and we are going to get to know the Commonwealth more deeply with our characters, and there are particular ways that plays out. And there are a number of characters we will meet for the first time. So okay, first of all, let's talk about the first paragraph here. So I think it's fair to say that there's an epic start with a really big, cool, whatever. So that whole thing there, obviously that's referring to the beginning, or I guess sort of the ending of the Reaper arc. It's going to be very action-packed. There's going to be some big deaths. There's going to be some emotional stuff, like you said, which is likely hinting at Alden's death. Not even Alden. There's also Daryl and Connie's reunion, right? So that's all the emotional stuff that is likely going to play out there. There's going to be, I think, everyone coming back to Alexandria, some more reunion stuff there, and there could be some deaths. Like, that's basically the emotional stuff there. And I could totally see what she means by there's going to be a different vibe than 11A, because 11A was very dark, very much like we're trying to survive. We're out here on this journey to Meridian. Obviously, in 11B, it's going to be more of a thriller vibe, which is more of like trying to figure out what's going on in this community, which I would say is probably classic Walking Dead. 11A had, that thriller vibe was, people say that's classic Walking Dead. It didn't really feel like it. And I would say, even going back to the first couple of seasons of The Walking Dead, when they were on their way to Terminus, that wasn't classic Walking Dead. That was something that they did there, and it was a darker feel, a darker tone. But it was just different, I think, because Rick was there. I think if Rick was here on this trip to Meridian, the whole story would have felt much better. It would have felt just different. But I think that that's not really classic Walking Dead. Classic Walking Dead is a very normal human story, and it's honestly just human drama. It's nothing to do with trying to, well, not necessarily trying to survive, because that's classic Walking Dead as well. But it's not what we got in terms of their trip to Meridian. It's more of, we're in this community. Is there something going on with this community sort of thing, right? We've gotten that story countless amounts of times throughout the series. And so I think that's going to be the vibe, the thriller vibe that we get when they're at the Commonwealth. There's going to be big reveals, big things that happen, and trying to understand what this community is. Now, what she says here is very interesting. So the second paragraph starts off with, we tend to switch up. Okay, I'll kind of skip that a little bit more. But she does say we'll start to open up our world a little bit more and meet some more people and see what's going on for everybody. And there's going to be a really fun thriller vibe, and then it goes into that. I don't want to spoil it because it would definitely be spoilery, but there will be another group that surprises our people. And so right there, I really do like that because first of all, she says that they start to open up their world a little bit more. That's definitely going to be CRM related, right? Like they are introducing the Civic Republic on The Walking Dead. I mean, technically, we've already gotten that introduction with Jadis, but I believe everyone else is going to find out about it. I think it makes the most sense that this would be the end game of The Walking Dead, because it's leading up to the Rick movies, right? And honestly, that could be a big part of it. Like a lot of us wonder why the Rick movies are taking too long. It could be like a financial thing, right? Like as soon as The Walking Dead, and I saw a few people actually talking about this before, like in the comments a few days ago, but they were just debating or discussing why the Rick movie is taking so long to come out. And a lot of it could be because they're going to use a lot of the set and a lot of locations where they film The Walking Dead right now, right? And so financially, you have a lot of your resources tied up in that show. So they could be waiting for that show to wrap up, and then all the crew and everything, they're all going to focus on this Rick movie, and that could be their big thing that they focus on starting next year, right? I think that could also be a big part of this, and I actually think it makes sense. Like at this point, obviously the Rick movie is coming out after the show ends, and I do think that is smart. Like if it came out already, I do think it would feel very off, because I remember when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. came out, I don't even know when that was, 10 years ago, 10 years ago, whenever the hell it was. Probably not 10 years ago, it's a little too long ago. But when it came out, it was supposed to be this big deal. Some people like the show. I just eventually fell off because I was like, I don't care about the story too much. It definitely seems like a lower budget than the movies. And it was just sort of one of those things where, like whatever would happen in the movies would affect the show. And so the show became more predictable, but also the threats on the show weren't going to be as threatening as what was in the movies because you couldn't do that. And I think that could be something here with the Rick movies as well. Whatever Rick is dealing with, they couldn't, it would be much bigger than whatever The Walking Dead is dealing with. And so The Walking Dead would start to take a huge hit and no one would want to watch that. And so I think it makes sense to end it, build it up a lot right here with the Commonwealth and CRM story. And then as soon as the show ends, then you sort of branch out into different spin-offs, and then you have the movie, right? And that's why you have your main television show that ends. And now the future of this series is going to be your future, right? For AMC, it's going to be the Daryl and Carol spinoff, Tales of the Walking Dead. I'm sure a countless amount of other spinoffs that they're going to do. And then obviously the Rick Grimes movies, they could do other movies for other characters, right? I'm really excited for this. I really do think that having the Civic Republic a part of part 2 to season 11, I think is actually really smart. And remember, Angela Kang made these comments. I think it was, I got the article from nme.com or whatever, and it was dated to October 11th. This article could have been done with Entertainment Weekly a couple days before, basically around the same time that Gimple made those comments as well. And Gimple, he didn't mean to say what he said. And when you're looking at Angela Kang's comments here, she said that we're going to start to open up our world a little bit here. And she doesn't want to spoil it because it would definitely be spoilery. But there will be another group that surprises our people. That part right there, combined with what Gimple said, he was asked the question, do the CRM and Commonwealth know each other? And he just said yes. And we're going to learn a little bit more about that. And then he kind of stopped talking. I'm paraphrasing there, but that was basically what he said. And he was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I was kind of spoilery. Like, this is pretty big. Honestly, I wasn't expecting the or the Civic Republic to make an appearance here in part 2. I thought that would be endgame stuff. I thought that they wouldn't have the balls to introduce something like that, to be honest. I thought that was something that they were going to keep teasing in part 3. But honestly, I think they know that they got to end The Walking Dead in a big way. They probably know that part 1 was a bit slower, and so they wanted to make it slower for the purpose of, we want to have those just more normal episodes before it starts to get very chaotic, right? Because we literally just came off of a Whisperer War. And so, I think these last 16 are going to be insane. And it is very possible that a lot of these episodes were the original plan, right? Because obviously they weren't planning on making season 11 an extended season. It was supposed to be 16 episodes, but then AMC was like, you know what, we're going to end the show where the comic ends, and then we'll branch out to spinoffs and movies and stuff. And so they had to sort of combine everything together, throw everything together. But it feels like right now they are getting right into what their original plan was. And so I'm really excited for part 2. I really can't wait. The trailer looked really amazing. It is really cool to think that the Civic Republic have, obviously they would have connections to the Commonwealth, but that a character like Daryl is likely going to start to learn more about this. And when he starts to learn more stuff about this, that's where those Rick things are going to come up, because at some point it's going to be in part 2 or it's going to be in part 3. Daryl is going to find out Rick's alive. That's exciting. I honestly cannot wait for Daryl to find that out. And when he does, it is going to be such an emotional scene, such a, like, oh man, I can't, to be honest, that's going to be such a big deal. And that moment is coming, right? Like, there's no way they're going to end the show with Daryl not knowing. Like, the spinoff is totally focused on that. The spinoff is going to have Daryl and Carol out there searching for Rick. We could also have other cast members, like if Leah doesn't die, Leah could be there. We could have Connie there. Dog could be on that show. There could be some cast members of The Walking Dead on that show, right? And I just think that this is going to be the start of something really big here. Part 2 is definitely, obviously, it's going to be the big conflict season, our big conflict part of the season. It's going to get really nuts. It's going to, a lot of this stuff that we want to know is actually going to start to be revealed. Like, I was wondering before the season started when they were going to get into some of the CRM stuff, the Rick stuff, and all of that. And I kind of figured, like, even going back to season 10, I was like, is Daryl going to find out from Judith before the season 10 finale? And I was like, probably not. They're going to hold this a secret. And then when season 11 started, I was like, is Daryl going to find out in part 1? And I figured probably not. It's probably going to be a part 2 or a part 3 thing. And we're on part 2 now, right? It's coming out in 4 months. So yeah, I'm really excited, and it's 4 months away, but we are going to learn some more information in the next month and a half. There's going to be some reveals, some Rick movie stuff, obviously, with World Beyond ending in a little over a month. And then we'll have the Christmas break. And then once January rolls around, like, after the first week of January, around there is when they're going to start promoting the hell out of The Walking Dead returning for part 2. And then, we'll kind of take it from there. But I thought this was really interesting. Again, thank you, Xmas Girl, for actually sending this to me, because this practically confirms, that the Civic Republic will play a role in part 2 of season 11. And I am really, honestly, I'm so excited for that. I can't wait to see exactly how that's going to turn out. But anyways, I'm going to leave it here. Make sure to be a subscriber if you want more Walking Dead content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.